Live. I hope you can see me and you can hear me well. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I'm really passionate about and I still do. Everything that I started doing 4 years ago when I was diagnosed with cancer, I just do the same things, but I just do them better and more efficiently and easier because I have been building those habits along the way. But I think that there is some two very simple things that people don't realize that they can do that can really impact on their energy levels, reduce constipation, and it can help them with their weight. And it's to really reduce the amount of wheat that you have on your diet. And how do you do that? When I look back at my diet before cancer, I ate a lot of pasta. When I say pasta, I'm talking about, shop bought pasta, white pasta that you buy in a package. And I also ate a lot of bread, again, shop bought bread, right, that you buy in a package in a supermarket. And pasta is easier to make. You just make a sauce and you cook and you just throw it together and you eat it. And it is, everybody loves it. It's easy to give it to the kids. And before you know, you're eating pasta 3 times a week. You're eating bread every day. And what happens is pasta and bread are made from the same ingredient, which is wheat. And just to give you a little bit of a context why this is so important is wheat is one of the most sprayed crops in the world. Okay, so if you are not familiar with what's happening around our soil and how we are producing our food, wheat is one of the like number one is like wheat, corn, and soy. Why wheat? Because of everything that we produce with wheat, right? The pasta, the bread, and all of that. So there is a lot of demand. So they have to spray those crops very heavily because they can't have the bugs eating their plants, right? So they spray the crops with the worst pesticides. If you're not familiar with a product called glyphosate, in some countries it's called Roundup. And it's really a product that has been linked to cause cancer. And I'm not going to go into too much into the detail here, but if you want more info, you can DM me. But that's, we this research has been done and has been proven. But obviously, those companies that sell Roundup and the pharmaceutical companies that really promote the drugs and everything like that, it's a vicious cycle. It's not out of their interest to stop making people sick. It's not out of their interest to stop using Roundup, and and the list goes on. And what happens is in some countries the Roundup has been forbidden to use, but then what happens is they do another research and they get the countries to use Roundup again, which is very, very problematic because we are damaging our soil heavily with those products. This is going to our food and we are eating that. So now this video is going to be about what happens when we eat that, right? So when we eat that, so we're basically eating 3 times a week, a meal that is based in pasta. Every day we're eating bread, a product that is full of pesticides. Okay, so that goes inside our bodies, and our liver, which is responsible to the only organ that is responsible to the detoxify all this junk that we put inside us. It needs to kind of keep on top of that. And with the amount of pesticide that is in everything that we eat, the liver gets clogged up. Okay, and the liver is also responsible to break down fat. But if the liver is so busy trying to detoxify our bodies from all of this food that is poisonous to us, it's very hard for the liver to work effectively on everything else that the liver needs to do, like break down fat. Okay, so if you were to eat once a week, it wouldn't be too bad. But most people are eating bread every single day, and we're not talking about a small quantity. Most people are eating large quantities of bread. What are large quantities of bread? They have bread in the morning, they have at lunchtime, and then they have maybe something, that it's made with bread in the afternoon tea or whatever it is, that's made with wheat. Okay, and then they are having pasta, pizza and pasta and macaroni cheese and all of sorts, all the time. So it's too much of it. So the too much of it is where the problem is. Okay, so when I look back at my diet, which was considered a healthy diet, and I would say most people didn't even eat as healthy as I ate before cancer. Okay, because I still cooked everything from scratch, and it was still very, very healthy. I still ate too much of pasta and bread. Okay, so what can you do to really change this balance, eating less of the pasta, and more of other things that will be adding to your body? So basically what happens when you're eating pasta and bread, you are not getting like a processed wheat to like really, really, really processed product, but it's also full of chemicals. So in actual fact, you're not adding anything to your body. Okay, and that's when the problem of when you're ingesting this, the liver gets clogged up, and then why people get constipation, because there's no fiber in it. There is no fiber. Without fiber, you're getting constipated, and if you are getting constipated, it's a big problem. Okay, don't underestimate the issue of getting constipated. Getting constipated is not something that you want to be having like all the time. Because basically what it means is that inside you, you've got full of poo putrefying inside you. And if you haven't watched my video on YouTube about getting constipated, you should watch that, because getting constipated is not promoting health inside of you. So if you're not eating a diet that is rich in fiber, too much bread and too much pasta, you're getting constipated. And if you are eating too much pasta and too much bread, and you're getting constipated, and your liver is trying to detox from all of these toxins, is also not being very efficient in breaking down fat, which is affecting your weight and your ability to lose weight. Okay, and that all of it is affecting your energy levels, because your gut, it doesn't have enough fiber. The balance between the good bacteria and bad bacteria, it's not promoting the good bacteria. You don't have enough fiber. So then what happens? You feel sluggish and you feel tired. Okay. So today I'm going to explain to you like 3 things that you can do to reduce the amount of bread and pasta that you have, so you can start really changing this balance. Okay. And the first thing I want you to do is, if you absolutely have to have bread, I would say, getting yourself, making your own bread is one of the best investments of time and money that you can do in health. Okay. Why is that? Because you can buy organic flour. You can buy a bread maker that will probably cost you about $300. You can put 4 ingredients together, and the bread maker makes the bread for you. Okay. It will take you about 10 minutes, if that. Maybe the first time 10 minutes, the next time it will be 5 minutes. Okay. So then you are not eating the processed wheat that is not organic, that's full of chemicals. You're eating a bread. You can, if you buy a wholemeal flour, then you're adding fiber to yourself. Okay, so if you have absolutely to eat bread, if you can't, if you are the kind of person that you can't survive without bread, that is the alternative. Okay, so buy a bread maker and make wholemeal your own wholemeal bread. Okay, if you are okay not to having bread, so normally people have bread like a sandwich at lunchtime, okay, or some sort of, one of their meals will have the bread. I would suggest that you replace, because the wheat is going to become sugar inside you, and it's going to be very fast releasing. You replace that with another carbohydrate, which is also going to become sugar in your system, but with a different type of carbohydrate, which is going to be slow releasing into your system. And that would be replaced with sweet potatoes or pumpkin or butternut squash. And the beautiful thing about this is that you're going to be adding a lot of fiber into your diet. Okay, so within that, you're adding to your body. You're not, depleting your body and harming your body like if you were to eating just bread bought from the shop. And just to change you a little bit of your mind around that, I want you to go to the shop and I want you to watch the ingredients that are in bread. In any shop bought bread, you're going to see that there's about 20 ingredients. Now, most of it, you're not even going to recognize what they are. If you buy a bread maker, you can make a bread with 4 ingredients. Okay, the flour, the water, salt, and yeast. That's it. Okay? I have a bread maker. Sometimes we make bread. I do not eat bread every day. And if we have bread, I will probably eat 2 slices a day. That's it, max. Okay? So if you look at this, 4 ingredients in comparison to 20 ingredients, you're going to realize what you're putting inside of you. Okay? So that is a massive, massive difference. And so either the bread maker or replace the carbohydrates with a complex carbohydrates, which is sweet potatoes, pumpkin, or butternut squash. Now, the second thing that I think would be, really beneficial for you to do around the pasta is people say like, oh, like I love pasta, it's so filling, it's so great, it's so good. I want you to go to find a restaurant where you can eat that that you can eat fresh made pasta. Okay, I want you to really go there and experience what pasta should taste like. Now, how do you find that? You need to ask, because if you don't ask, the restaurant might say it's fresh made, but it's not fresh made. Okay, so be very, very conscious about choosing the right restaurant that that they make the fresh pasta. And I want you to eat that, because fresh pasta is made with flour that is good quality, organic flour. It shouldn't be too much of a problem, and you wouldn't be able to eat as much because it's filling and it's nourishing. But the pasta that we buy in the supermarket, it is made with a flour that is the lowest quality. That's why it's cheap, and it's full of chemicals, and you need to eat a lot of it because in actual fact it doesn't add you any nutrition. So once you start, understanding the difference between really real pasta versus, pasta bought in the shop, you're going to realize that what you're eating is rubbish. I don't eat white pasta. I don't eat pasta that is bought in the supermarket, that I used to eat at all anymore. If I have to have pasta, okay, in an occasion, normally, when we go camping, we're in the middle of nowhere, we have to take a pasta. There is lots of different types of pasta that you can buy these days. They're made with things like, brown rice, which has fiber on it, made with amaranth, which is a seed. It's made with sometimes chickpea. Okay, but again, because they had to process this quite a bit, because to make it into a pasta, it's not something that I would recommend anyone to eat all the time, not even 3 times a week. Because while you're eating this, you're filling your body with a a product that is not adding as much value as if you were eating other vegetables, like the sweet potatoes, the pumpkin, and all of that. Okay, so if you absolutely have to eat the pasta, I would try to find different types of pasta that is made with brown rice, amaranth, or chickpeas, or pulses, or lentils. We can find here in Australia. I'm sure you can find this in a good health, food store in any other country. But it is not something that I would be eating every day. This is not something that I have in my house every week at all. Okay, just for emergency circumstances. Now, if we are making pizza, we make our own dough. The bread maker can do that too. So you buy your own flour. It's good quality flour, and you make, and it's delicious, and it's different than the ones that you buy from a restaurant, a shop, and the rest of it. So it's really finding that balance of what do I want to add to my body in this meal here. If you're just adding, the bread and the pasta, you're adding nothing to it. In actual fact, you're adding just chemicals. Okay. So that is one thing that you need to think about. The second thing is, what could I add instead? So it's just adding the carbs, but carbs that comes from the ground, the nature, the sweet potatoes, the pumpkin, the butternut squash, the complex carbs, the chickpeas, yeah, which is all going to help you to have add enough fiber to your gut so you can reduce your constipation if that's what's happening with you, so that you can add nourishment to your body, so it will increase your energy as opposed to depleting you. And it can help you lift the pressure that you are putting on your liver, which most people are doing it with medication, with junk food, with foods that are not coming from the nature. It's all adding pressure to your liver. So you're lifting off that pressure so your liver can focus on breaking down fat and just working like a clockwork so your body can start working on your weight. Okay, so guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. I really hope that this is helpful to you. I really believe that those two changes are massive when it comes to increasing your energy. Like I said, this is something I used to do before cancer. This is not something that I do now. And I see that it's harming people all around me. From kids' age, like all, every kid, in my school, in my kids' school, they're having a sandwich, white bread sandwich at lunchtime. And people are thinking that they're giving them substance, but they're not. They're giving them nothing. Okay, white bread is one of the worst things that you can eat. And you can just look at the ingredients and you can have a look at it. That you are just adding nothing to your body. So really think about, what you can do to replace it. And little by little, you start, replacing that balance. And before you know, you're no longer eating any of that. Well, if you have any questions, just let me know. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.